Tonight on Eyewitness News, sentencing day.
You killed and you injured a lot of people. You turned a happy, fun event into one of the most violent crimes in Buffalo's history.
The man behind the City Grill massacre learns his fate. Also tonight, canvassing the neighborhood who shot and killed a teenager in a busy suburban park. Plus, Memorial Torch Run, honoring the family of a fallen New York State trooper.
And we're live here at Thursday at the Square. I'm Jennifer Stenonis. More on this and your forecast coming up.
Live from 7 Broadcast Plaza. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
Did she die alone with no one at her side as she slipped away to the darkness of the earth?
Heartbreaking tales of grief tonight. Those touched by the City Grill tragedy confronting their loved one's killer on his sentencing day. Good evening once again. Topping Eyewitness News at 6. It's life without the possibility of parole for convicted murderer Ricardo McCrae.
Now, McCrae had claimed his innocence from the very beginning. He did so again today in front of a courtroom that was packed with the friends and the family members of those people who were killed in front of the City Grill restaurant in downtown Buffalo last August.
Channel 7's Jacqueline Estalos has more on what happened today.
I want to say my heart goes out to the family, all the 4 victims, but I want to tell y'all once again, y'all can believe it or not, I'm not the shooter, and God knows I'm not the shooter, so that's all that matters to me.
Ricardo McCrae still maintains his innocence.
It's a judgment of this court to sentence you to life imprisonment without parole.
Even after being sentenced to life in prison without parole for shooting 8 people and killing 4 last August at the City Grill in downtown Buffalo.
My life has been turned upside down within 17 seconds. My life was ripped from me. He was my bed. He was my world.
Prosecutors say it took only 17 seconds for McCrae to shoot 10 bullets, killing his victims. Before the sentence was read, family members were able to speak out about their devastation and loss.
What were her thoughts? What were her last words? Did she know she was dying? Did she feel any pain? Did she die alone with no one at her side as she slipped away to the darkness of the earth?
One family member of a person severely injured by a bullet also addressed the court.
I had been praying so hard for God to remove this hatred out of my heart that I have for Ricardo. He had destroyed my family.
Judge Sheila DiTullio also honored the victims one by one, then spoke directly to McCrae.
You're a thug, and you're a murderer, and you're a person with no remorse and no conscience. Quite simply, Ricardo McCrae, you take a life and you get life.
McCrae's lawyer says they will be appealing the decision of the court. Jacqueline Estalis, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A Niagara County jury acquitting a man charged with murder. 29-year-old Earl McCoy was found innocent of all charges, including murder, attempted robbery, and weapons charges in the slaying of 36-year-old Jacoby Lovett. Lovett was shot and killed in what police called a robbery attempt back in November of 2009. In March, a jury convicted another man, 25-year-old Tyrone Elder, for his murder.
Police have now identified the body that was found in Casanova Creek yesterday. He is 47-year-old John Liebrecht of Buffalo. His body was pulled from the creek near the Bailey Bridge yesterday. Police say they do not suspect foul play in his death. A vigil is going to be held tomorrow night to remember a teenager from Buffalo who was gunned down in a Cheektowaga park earlier this week. Tonight, police still on the hunt for the killer. Channel 7's Ed Riley has the latest on the Ira Watkins case. Ed?
Well, Keith, Cheektowaga police are telling us they plan to meet with community leaders tomorrow afternoon. They're hoping they can help them figure out who is responsible for the shooting death of a Buffalo teenager. 19-year-old Ira Watkins was making plans for his future. He was enrolled in Erie Community College and thinking about a career in law enforcement.
You know, he wasn't no street guy. You know, he wasn't in no gang or nothing.
But those dreams came to a terrible end Tuesday night. Watkins was shot and killed while gathering with a large group of people at the basketball courts in the Cheektowaga Town Park.
We don't know if our victim was having trouble with someone or our victim might have just innocently been caught in crossfire.
Police say there were close to 100 witnesses to the shooting, and they have video from parked cameras and police cars that recorded crowds leaving the area.
Portions of it are very clear. Other portions are less clear.
Town officials say they are increasing police patrols in the park and areas of the town that border with Buffalo.
We are not in the town of Cheektowaga going to concede a single neighborhood to violence.
On Friday afternoon, town of Cheektowaga officials will meet with City of Buffalo civic and community leaders.
There's a wonderful law enforcement partnership in this community, and Supervisor Holtz and I have worked very closely on border issues.
As police pour through the videos taken the night of the shooting, they're hoping that civic and community leaders can help them make identifications.
They're familiar with a lot of these kids more than we are. We'll be able to show them their faces and say, look, who are these kids?
Police are getting information from their confidential tip line, but they ask the public to be patient. They say this investigation could take several weeks. A vigil for the young man who lost his life will start tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. near the basketball courts in the Cheektowaga Town Park. Live in the newsroom, Ed Riley, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Ed. Well, also tonight, people remembering the life of a young woman who was found dead in a trash bin in Buffalo. Here's a live look now as friends and family of Amanda Wiankowski are gathering right now on the steps of Buffalo City Hall on what would have been her 23rd birthday. The Kenmore native died in December of 2008 on Buffalo's Lower East Side. The medical examiner ruled her death as an accidental drug overdose, but her family believes she was murdered. No arrests have been made in that case. Buffalo police continuing to investigate a woman who went missing from Cheektowaga. 53-year-old Jean Piacenti was last seen Tuesday morning. Investigators are currently following up a tip that she was spotted near Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, it's believed she's still driving that navy blue colored Chevrolet Equinox. Anybody with information is asked to contact police in the area of the sighting.
Federal lawmakers in Washington voted down a bill today that would have cut money to fight terrorism here in western New York. The House of Representatives voted against the Homeland Security Appropriations Bill that was going to slash funding nationally by about 20%. And it removed 30 communities from the list of areas that received money last year. For the past 8 years, as a matter of fact, western New York has received extra federal money because of the high-risk targets that are here. Things like our local bridges at the border crossings into Canada and the big power plant in Lewiston as well.
Today, residents in Tonawanda continuing their fight against Tonawanda Coke, a company accused of polluting the area. Members of the Western New York Clean Air Coalition are calling for more oversight on the plant with a history of pollution and accusing the plant's owner of recklessly putting cancer-causing chemicals into the air.
Is for the children. Children here are sick. Elderly are sick. They don't have a voice. The children play on the playground. Behind the playground are the smokestacks.
I lost my mom to cancer 7 years ago, so it kind of really hit home for me.
Tonawanda Coke saying tonight it has no comment.
Well, a lot of homeowners out there in western New York right now have Mother Nature to thank for their lush and high front lawns. But properties that are too green and too high are now keeping code enforcement officials really busy. Within the city of Buffalo, owners are being slapped with summons now, no matter that this has been the rainiest spring on record. Buffalo Common Council members are requesting that some of those citations be voided due to all this rainy weather. But the mayor says the law is the law.
The law is very clear. You have to cut your grass. Citizens have asked us to enforce quality of life. The council has asked us to enforce quality of life, and we're going to continue to enforce quality of life.
The suburbs are also dealing with this problem this year. Now, violators in Buffalo have a 10-day grace period, followed by a hearing before they receive a $150 fine if they don't cut the grass.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6 tonight, how will the Buffalo School Board look for the district's next superintendent? Details on the search for Dr. Williams' replacement coming up next.
And an annual torch run is crossing the Niagara frontier today, with one leg serving as a tribute to a fallen New York State trooper. Just one day after the announcement that the Buffalo school superintendent is going to retire next year, authorities are already looking ahead toward the future.
Plenty of work is now underway to find the replacement for Dr. James Williams. For more on that, let's turn to Channel 7's Kendra Eaglin. She's live in downtown Buffalo tonight.
Well, that's right, Keith and Joanna. The Board of Education is now reaching out to the community to help them find a replacement for Dr. Williams. Board member Chris Jacobs telling Eyewitness News the board plans to reach out to residents, community leaders, the teachers union, and other community stakeholders to get their input on the best person to replace Dr. Williams when he retires June 30th, 2012. Now, until then, there are several major projects ahead for the school district, including selecting an independent organization to take over the management of 7 of the district's low-performing schools. And whoever the new superintendent is will need to be ready to tackle the crucial issues plaguing the district.
We have the federal government telling us models that we have to use to get money. We have the state telling us what we have to do, regardless of whether it makes any sense or not.
We need to talk about the approach we want to take. Last time around, we hired a search firm to do a national search. That's one approach. We could look at it more of a local search. I do hope we do a national search. I think it's very important because this will probably be the leader for the next number of years.
Now the board plans to discuss their next steps in the process of finding Williams' replacement at their meeting next week. Now, Dr. Williams has agreed to help in the search for the new candidate and help that person transition into the new position. Dr. Williams also has several tasks to complete within the next 12 months, including helping to improve the high school dropout rate. We're live in downtown Buffalo. Kendra Eaglin, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Kendra. Coming up on Eyewitness News tonight, a new home opens its doors to help hospice care patients and their families.
And Jennifer live tonight over at Thursday at the Square with your AccuWeather forecast. Don't go away.
As the Special Olympics torch makes its way across western New York, a portion of the journey is now dedicated to the memory of a fallen state trooper. Eyewitness News catching up with the memorial leg just as it rolled into Williamsville. It's running in memory of Trooper Kevin Dobson, who was killed in March while conducting a traffic stop on the 290.
I think it's a tremendous honor. The New York State Police have been just fantastic towards our family. This is really making us proud because my little granddaughter will be in this run today.
And as he said, the trooper's 4-year-old daughter, Brooke, joining the race at the end to stand in for her father. The 3-day run takes the torch through Niagara Falls, Clarence, and downtown Buffalo through Hamburg.
From U-News TV tonight, the Shepherd mix needs a new home. Now, she was hit by a car on the 290 last week, but luckily, thanks to some local vets here, she is okay. She survived and is now available for adoption. Anyone interested can call the Clarence Animal Shelter. The phone number there is 407-8912. Remember, if you have a picture or a video you'd like to share with us in the audience, log on to WKBW.com and click on U-News up at the top of the page.
Now with your exclusive AccuWeather forecast, here's Jennifer Stanonis.
All right, Jen, out live at Thursday at the Square tonight.
I know, it's a great time out here, although it's a little chilly. If you didn't notice, I did put on a jacket finally. A little chilly, a bit breezy, and it's funny because a lot of people usually congregate here in this area right behind me, but you can see a whole bunch of people grouping together in the sunshine, just trying to get any relief possible from the chilly conditions out here. But yeah, we are enjoying some nice music regardless. Now, the band Etchings, they just they finished up, and now we have Son of the Sun band on stage right now, and we are enjoying their music. And the headliners, it's going to be Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. That's coming up at about 7:30. So overall, a decent night. At least it's dry, and people do have their sunglasses out since we are enjoying some sunshine. There you go. Let's take a look at what's going on the radar and satellite. The regional shot, you can see not too much going on. Really no clouds overhead and nice and dry, and that's how it's going to continue through through tonight. However, the clear conditions setting us up for decent radiational cooling, also a cooler air mass in place with that northwesterly flow of cooler air. So we do have a frost advisory in effect starting 2 a.m., lasting until 9 a.m. early tomorrow morning for the southern tier and for Wyoming County and for northern Pennsylvania. So make sure to protect any outdoor potted plants and vegetations. Temperatures right now, you can see, well, 59 for Wellsville, still in the 60s for Olean, 63, 62 for Attica, and the mid to low 60s for Niagara Falls area, 58 in Buffalo. So cool conditions right here in Lafayette Square. High temperature today in Buffalo hit 66, below the average daily high of 72, low 53, right where we should be for this time of year. No precip, that's always a good thing, and the sun sets late, 8:48 p.m. Let's take a look at tonight's forecast. Mainly clear and chilly and breezy for the early evening, and those temperatures dropping down mid to low 40s and cooler in those frost advisory areas south of Buffalo and inland. The exclusive 7-day accurate forecast shows, well, we're going to be dry for tomorrow with partly sunny skies, highs near to right around 70, then mid 70s for the upcoming weekend. Scattered storms for the first half of it for Saturday, but at least drying up with partly to mostly sunny skies for Sunday and for much of next week. So looking forward to that. And we are enjoying it here at Thursday at the Square, the 25th anniversary. We're live downtown tonight. Jennifer Snows, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you guys.
All right, Jen, have fun down there. Still to come in sports tonight, we'll have a recap for you of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
And the Sabres parting ways with a longtime assistant coach, Jeff Rousseau, up next.
Now with Eyewitness Sports, here's Sports Director Jeff Rousseau.
Citing a need to go in a different direction, head coach Lindy Ruff and the Sabres organization announced today that the team will not renew the contract of associate head coach Brian McCutcheon. Reports surfaced last night. Sabres made it official today, ending an 11-year run for McCutcheon here in Buffalo. In a statement late this afternoon, Sabres GM Darcy Regier said the team had not closed the door on a different opportunity for McCutcheon within the organization. The thought is, with Kevin Dineen now in Florida, McCutcheon could be a candidate to become the next head coach of the Sabres AHL affiliate if they complete the purchase of the Rochester Amerks, where McCutcheon was previously the head coach for 3 seasons. Sabres also continued to sign their top prospects, announcing today they've signed 2010 first-round draft pick Mark Pysyk to a 3-year entry-level deal. The 19-year-old defenseman coming off a career year with Edmonton of the WHL. He's expected to spend another year at the junior level. Well, back in 2009, Ottawa's Jarkko Ruutu received a 2-game suspension for biting the hand of then Sabres forward Andrew Peters. But apparently in the NHL, all bites are not created equal. NHL Senior Vice President Mike Murphy announcing today that Vancouver forward Alex Burrows will not be suspended for allegedly biting Patrice Bergeron in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals last night. The incident happened at the end of the first period, where it appears pretty clear that Burrows chomps down on Bergeron's finger. Murphy saying in a statement today he found no conclusive evidence that Burrows intentionally bit Bergeron. That incident just part of a wild Game 1 of the Cup Finals last night at the Rogers Center. Plenty of big hits, including this one in the second period. Vancouver's Dan Hamhuis upends Boston's Milan Lucic. No score in the third period of this game when Vancouver would break through. Only 19 seconds left in regulation. Jannik Hansen sets up Rafi Torres. He's going to beat Tim Thomas for the game's lone goal. Torres, a former Sabre, the hero, and the 1-0 Vancouver win.
Just got to get open. And he made a great play to get it over, and was fortunate enough to get him back in that.
We need him to play the way he does, and you know, he's a little bit sometimes outside the box, but you got to let him be who he is.
Great goaltending on both sides last night. Roberto Luongo gets the shutout, 36 saves. Game 2 set for Saturday back in Vancouver. Day 79 of the NFL lockout, but with a big court hearing set for tomorrow. Players and owners spent the past 2 days in Chicago in a secret mediation session. ESPN reporting that the two sides met with a federal mediator all day yesterday and parts of today at an undisclosed location, trying to find some common ground and trying to get a feel if a settlement and a new CBA can be worked out. Tomorrow in St. Louis, a hearing is set in the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, which will eventually rule on if the current lockout is legal. Game 2 of the NBA Finals on tap tonight back in Miami, where the Heat will try and take a 2-0 series lead over Dallas. Miami remained undefeated at home during this postseason with a 92-84 win over the Mavericks back on Tuesday. Tonight, Game 2 back at the American Airlines Arena, coverage right here on ABC and Channel 7 starting at 9 o'clock. Mavericks star Dirk Nowitzki nursing a torn finger tendon on his non-shooting hand, but claims it won't affect him. So Game 2 right here on Channel 7 tonight.
Ouch.
Ouch. That hurts,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
You got it.
Well, here's another example of Western New Yorkers making good things happen every day. A Western New York company trying to make sure families of hospice patients are a little more comfortable providing them now with a place to stay. West Her Automotive officially dedicating this new home in Cheektowaga to the Center for Hospice and Palliative Care. The home was purchased last year and has been newly renovated. Officials are calling today's dedication a great opportunity to provide a service for those who have loved ones receiving treatment.
Very nice. That's it tonight for Eyewitness News at 6. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tonight for Eyewitness News after the basketball game.
And remember, you can always find us on Twitter, Facebook, and on the web at WKBW.com. ABC's World News is next.